Welcome to the Logically Faithful Show. This is Khaldun Swice. There are 10 things science cannot prove and cannot be proven using scientific methodologies alone. And what I'll be doing in this particular segment is going through those 10 with you. Are we ready? Science itself is derived from the Latin word know, to gnosis, to know and understand, and to be able to analyzing and doing research upon the physical world around us and making sense of that world, manipulating that world to make the world around us better. And without science, you cannot be watching this video. I would not be healed of many of my ailments, as well as many people cannot be advanced in the world around us that we exist even in the Western world without science. Science is so important for the advancement of Western and civilization itself, but there are limits. So keep in mind, as we do in science, every scientific enterprise, every scientific research paradigm has a philosophy behind it. So follow along with me if you'd like. I'm going to the website, logicallyfaithful.com. And on this website, what I do is there's a section called 10 Things Science Cannot Prove. And I'm going through that here with you. And one of the ways we analyze science is by understanding that there's a research paradigm in science, a way of looking at science called naturalism. And many people confuse what is naturalism to what is scientific. And sometimes it's called not just scientism, naturalism, but it's also called scientism. It's a belief system that nothing in the universe that is not physical. Everything in the universe is physical, and anything that's not physical is nothing but poetry. All the elucidation of all the phenomena in the universe can be reduced to something physical, chemical, physical, biological. And that is a research paradigm called naturalism. It's a philosophical point of view. And that point of view, by the way, is self-contradictory and riddled with philosophical and scientific problems. So when we talk about science, we're not just assuming here that only the physical exists, but a lot of times there's a confusion between the two. Science is researching the physical world around us, but it's not assuming that only the physical exists. Science is derived from this Latin word for knowledge. It's a way of analyzing and doing research and digging into the structure of the universe itself to find out ways we can improve our lives, whether using technology, using medicine, using biology, using DNA, and things of that nature. Science is a wonderful thing, but science is not free of philosophy. Daniel Dennett, in his wonderful book, which has serious problems, by the way, Darwin's Dangerous Idea, argues well that there is no such thing as a philosophy-free science. Every single scientist, every single research paradigm in the scientific world has a philosophy or an ideology behind it. Beware of those who tell you they don't. Science is a wonderful gift to make sense of the world around us, but it has limits. Let's go through the 10 of them. The first one is logic. Logic is a way of understanding the world. It's an axioms that are set forward in syllogisms that help us to make sense of the world around us. For example, every mother is a woman. Lucy is a mother. Therefore, Lucy is a woman. There is no way around this. If logic is true, then Lucy must be a woman, as long as she's a mother. Now, you can play around with these terms, but if the foundational principles are there, we can't analyze a crime scene without some kind of logical structure to the crime scene. I have to see and start ruling out areas of inference. For example, was this crime committed by the individual at the scene of the crime? The person died by their own hand or by the hand of someone else? Was it an accident or was it a natural occurrence? I have to use logic and deductive reasoning, or maybe even inductive reasoning, to figure that out. But science requires logic, but logic does not require science in order for it to function properly. This logic itself is based on these principles and axioms that themselves are not physically reducible or analyzed in a physical way. Science needs logic. Logic does not need science. And so, number 2, metaphysical truths. Some truths about the world around us, such as about our nature, of our identity, free will, what does it mean to be human, are philosophical truths that can't be reduced in a scientific research paradigm. Your personal identity, your DNA, who you are as an individual, your dreams, your nightmares, I can't find those by putting you through an MRI scanner. Now, can I? I need a lot more research, and that research can't be done scientifically, although it can be done other ways. Number 3, moral and ethical truths. Now, when somebody is killed, what we can do is find out when they died, how they died, what other people were in the room when they died, what kind of DNA was found in the room, how long they've been dead, etc. All that is in science. But I cannot, using science alone, find out that it was wrong to kill them. There are some people in science, researchers, who try to find a moral scientific rule that would work. Most of these have failed dismally. Whether you're talking about whether Immanuel Kant in the past, or even people recently like Samuel Harris in his book, The Moral Landscape, tries to derive an ought from an is, and that's a logical fallacy. You cannot find what should be right from what is happening around us. We need something deeper to do that. Morality is necessary to have good science. If I were to discover the cure for the common virus, I would not only cure a common cold, I would be curing cancer. It's an amazing discovery. But science isn't telling me that it was wrong for me to steal that information from my colleague who figured it out before me. I need something beyond actual science to do that. It's called morality and ethics, and they're very much real. To deny them is to deny not only our humanness, but also the way we can function better in this world around us. Let's go to scientific truths themselves. This is interesting. Science itself presupposes items and ideologies and belief systems that can't be proven scientifically. Nature is ordered in a regular pattern. It has structures and substructures within it. The very foundation for scientific theories presupposes an epistemological link to what is about the nature of reality itself. Take, for example, the laws built in the very foundation of the universe. The weak and strong force, gravity, thermodynamics, electromagnetism. Cosmologists tell us all these were present in a singularity in the very beginning of the universe. All of these are presumed by scientists. When you do your scientific research, you're assuming there are laws in play that set the foundation or the template of the universe itself as you move forward and build your research paradigm. And you cannot prove scientifically that science itself is a good thing to do. You need to use something beyond science to do that. Mathematical truths. We cannot know with absolute 100% certainty the next time you multiply 10 times 10 that you'll get 100. Or 10,000, what I have here, I have 10,000 in the website. If I multiply 100 times 100, I will arrive at 100,000. How do I know that? How do I know, not 100,000, 10,000. My math, I gotta get my math right here. But in order for me to get my math right, math has to be true. Math has to be a way that we analyze the world around us. But get this, guys, how could I be wrong unless there's a truth about math? See? And that truth about math is not physical, although it could be manifested physically by analyzing and putting together different aspects. If I were to rob a bank, I could be breaking the laws of Illinois. I could be breaking ethical laws, but I can't be breaking mathematical laws by doing that. Mathematical laws cannot be broken. They're in the very foundational structure of the universe. They're not arbitrary, although our understanding of them may be. But the universe itself, science itself, requires mathematical principles in order for it to function. And mathematical principles are not physical. 6, conscious truths. Science can never tell us what it is like to experience this video right now. Whether I'm giving you a headache, or whether you're enjoying what I'm hearing here, whether you want to share it with someone else, this is an experience you're having. That experience itself is what scientists and philosophers call qualia. This cannot be quantified in any known mechanism in the known universe, because it's how you feel, how you experience the world. Yes, there are neurological correlates that go off in my brain when I feel love, when I feel pain, when I'm hurt. I have nerve endings that are damaged. But get this, the pain that I experience in it is not physical. I was in the doctor's office a number of years ago, and they had these list of emojis. And they'll ask me, on these emoji lists, which one do you feel right now? The one that's screaming in pain, ah! or the one on the bottom who's in serenity and peace. You see, I wanted to ask the doctor if he was a naturalist or an atheist. You tell me how much pain I'm in since you are the doctor and you can figure out everything else physically. He can't, can he? Because pain itself is not physical, is it? You can actually have a broken heart. You can actually have a mindset that's hurt inside without any neural correlates being damaged. And pain itself is different for different people because it's an experience. And that experience itself is not quantifiable physically, just like thoughts themselves are not physical. The very thought, 10 things science cannot prove, is itself non-physical. By the way, the idea that I don't believe anything that's not physical is itself a non-physical thought. So even having the idea itself is a contradiction. Let's go to number 7. We're plugging along here, literary truths. One of my favorite novels and works of literature is J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit subsequently. Is J.R.R. Tolkien a better author than Shakespeare or Mark Twain? In order for me to figure that out, I have to use literary truth to do that, or literary analysis. That's not something we do with science. That's something we do with literature. Number 8, beauty and musical truths. This is fascinating. Yes, we can do some analysis of beauty and of music using mathematical equations. We can figure out the rhythms in music. We can do the work of Leonardo da Vinci, who worked on something called the golden ratio, which analyzed symmetry of faces and structures of landscapes. We can look at the details behind that and how that affects the human brain. And the Greeks talked about the symmetry and balance as an important ingredient of what makes something beautiful, and music is also part of that. However, in all of this, you don't use scientific principles to appreciate music, to wonder at the amazingness of an artwork, to be enraptured in the wonder of the landscape in the Grand Canyon, which I saw recently. It was amazing. These are truths about nature and the world that are not just subjective, but they're also not analyzed scientifically. You need something beyond science to analyze properly music and beauty. How about forgiveness and peace? How many of us need forgiveness? How many of us need peace? I know I do. And in order for us to have that, I can't go to somebody in a lab coat, in a room, in a study to figure out peace and humility and finding hope and forgiveness in my life, which is the final one, purpose and hope. I need something beyond science in order to find purpose in science. Science doesn't give you hope and purpose. You can give purpose and hope to science itself by finding that within yourself and finding that in someone greater than yourself. Finally, William Shakespeare said in Hamlet, "There are more things in heaven and earth that are dreamed of in your philosophy." And those things are beyond our dreams. They're wondrous. There are many other things science cannot analyze or prove. For now, I've just given you 10. And you can actually get a free book called Blind Spots of Science on the website, Logically Faithful, by just signing up there. And you can easily get that for you. It's available for you free. Thanks for being with me. It was a joy.